Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear, coming to you live. Oh my gosh, my camera's all crazy. Coming to you live from Central Florida. It's election night, so I know a lot of you guys are watching the results of the elections coming through. So, good news. It looks like Governor DeSantis, Ron DeSantis of Florida, is getting some good voting action in Florida. So that is awesome. Yay. So at that point, it looks like that's good news for Floridians. He has shown to protect us from mandatory things and keeps our state open. So that those are all favorable. Hey, Robin, I agree. Not favorable is a tropical storm Nicole. Hi, Jonathan. So, some of you guys know that Hurricane Irma, no, Ian, sorry, wrong storm. Hurricane Ian. What's up with Irmas and Ians? The Hurricane Ian hit Florida, caused devastation to Fort Myers Beach, Naples area down southwest of us. And the poor people down there, people were flooded out of their homes. People's homes were destroyed, roofs ripped off, flooding, just not good. I have patients with family down there, and it's a war zone. It's not recovered. Just because the media doesn't cover it doesn't mean that those people are still suffering. And so actually, my staff and I were talking about today, we usually do Toys for Tots around the holidays. And then the last couple of years, things just didn't go so smoothly. And somebody was telling me, like, yeah, they deliver Toys for Tots, but the disadvantaged families, these kids have like multiple toys because of this service. I'm like, if I'm going to do something that I'm looking to help others, I really want to help them. And so we decided that we're going to be collecting gift cards to local and chain stores like construction, home improvement stores like Home Depot and Lowe's, local chain grocery stores, gas stations, and stuff like that. So people can buy things that they need. Many businesses and many homes were completely destroyed in South Florida, in Southwest Florida. And so I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if we collected gift cards, and then we put them in envelopes, and we included some kind of like inspirational letter that maybe you guys wrote. You can be in different states and write something inspirational, something kind, something uplifting to somebody who has had a really crap year, right? A really stressful year. And I figured we'll put the letters in an envelope with the gift card, put a little bow on the top, and we'll go down to Fort Myers Beach and hand these things out. Oftentimes, big companies like the Red Cross and different organizations get involved. And, if you were to donate a gift card, you could give it directly to the person, and they can purchase groceries or gas or supplies to fix their house or whatever. So that's what we're going to do this year. Instead of Toys for Tots, we're going to be collecting gift cards to help our neighbors in Southwest Florida recover from a rough time. Now, Tropical Storm Nicole is headed in our direction. This is very, very bad. Hurricane Ian came through the west coast of Florida. Tropical Storm Nicole, who looks like she may turn into a hurricane tomorrow. So the problem with these storms is that meteorologists really don't know. They can give us their best guess on when a hurricane is going to make landfall. They can give us the best guess of tornadoes and flooding and storm surges, but they're really, really just guessing, right? And so, as a born and raised Floridian, down here we call it flow grown, right? Florida grown. I am not. I'm nervous about what's happening. So there's some people that have moved to Florida from other places, and they're like, "Oh, it'll be fine. It's fun. You get the day off, or the schools are closed, and the kids get to play Monopoly all day, or whatever." I don't think that they're fun at all. Leah's like, "Oh, hurricanes are fun," because last hurricane we built her dollhouse. So she thinks of it as we get to sit at the kitchen table and do fun things together. But I don't think that they're fun. And my concern is that Central Florida has a lot of lakes and a lot of rivers. The St. Johns River on the east side of Florida flows northbound. So if hurricane, so she's still a tropical storm, but if Hurricane Nicole strengthens, she's going to hit our east coast. Now, our east coast already got hit by Ian. Ian was so wide that it spanned the west coast of Florida and the east coast of Florida. And it felt like, and Floridians that are on here, you can let me know, it felt like he sat on us for 2 days of rain. We have a little rain collector in the front of my house, and it's like a little test tube with a little frog holding it. And that thing overflowed. Like the inches of rain was insane. And so we prepared. If you're a Floridian, no matter where you are, if you're on the coast, get off the coast. I'm not a meteorologist, so I'm not giving you professional advice. But if you're on beachside, get off beachside, come more inland. And then, prepare, guys. So you should already have your hurricane supplies from Ian, unless you ate them all. So some people buy hurricane snacks and then they eat all their hurricane snacks before the hurricane or during the hurricane or whatever. So have water, have food, if you have a propane grill, get extra propane, fill your tanks with gas. I learned the hard way last time when we lost power for 3 days. I thought I was being super proactive, and I had purchased a solar cell phone charger. So let me know if you purchased a cell phone charger, a solar cell phone charger. And so when we lost power, I'm like, no problem. I have a solar cell phone charger. And so I opened it up, and guess what you have to do? You have to actually charge it in the wall with electricity before you can use it. So I'm like, are you kidding me? So what do? Do you charge your solar cell phone chargers now? Do you wait till later? What do you do, right? And so my concern is with Lake Monroe, very high. So in lakes and oceans and rivers, they have channel markers, right? And so it's like the stick with the triangle on the top. Well, Lake Monroe, the water level is to the bottom of the triangle. There should be, I don't know the length of these things, but there should be a lot of pole and then the triangle. But the Lake Monroe has increased its height so much that many of the houses on Lake Monroe are flooded and not inhabitable. Some people on the St. Johns River have also experienced flooding. And so the river and the lake are still very, very high from Ian. And I'm extremely concerned that if Nicole comes and dumps a whole bunch of rain, because it's already been raining since lunchtime here on and off, and you guys can let me know, is it raining in your area of Florida, that there's only so many places that the water can go, right? And so what we did to prepare for Ian is we drained our pool just below that box thing called the skimmer, just above it, because you don't want it to go below the skimmer if your pool's going to circulate or you're sucking air, which is not good. Hi, Kayla. Hi, Robin. Hi, Tracy. And so we had room for the rain to go, for the pool to absorb the rain. Now, if your area is already flooded and you drain some of your pool, you're putting more water in the area. So what do? I don't know. I'm not a flood expert, right? But I do know that too much water in our area is a bad idea. Robin has a friend who street flooded, and in order to get to her house, she actually had to canoe or kayak to her house, and her street remains flooded still. And Ian was, when was the date on Ian? Does anybody remember? Hi, Lisa. Desiree says no rain in Palm Harbor. So Desiree is on the west coast of Florida. So what do you do? The Girl Scout in me says, be prepared, have your flashlights, have your food. If you need a sandbag, do your sandbags. Supposedly when Ian hit us, it was only downgraded to a tropical storm, and it was nasty. That sound of wind ripping around the house. Not my favorite, really not my favorite. Tornadoes spin off of hurricanes. And so a tornado is extremely damaging. There were branches down all over our neighborhood. There was trees down. I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like in Central Florida, we finally picked up all of the branches and all of the limbs, and the city finally came and got all of the hurricane rubbish. And so and they're still not done. There's some really big trees along the road that um, kind of parallels our street or is near our street. And there's some really large trees that came down. And those trees, whoever did the landscaping or the tree cutting job, they stacked these um, tree trunks. They're not even branches, they're tree trunks, and they look like these crazy log stacks. Now, the problem with that is if we have another storm and the storm has tornadoes, those log stacks are going to become airborne and fly around and break windows. It's not so much the tornado wind that breaks the windows, it's the objects in the tornado that breaks the objects. So my whole point is there's still big tree trunks and there's still objects that could become airborne around houses. There's still a lot of standing water. There's still Floridians that have flooded streets and flooded houses, and the lake is high and the river is high. And I haven't been to our East Coast yet, but I saw some photography, and a lot of our beach has eroded. To what percentage, I don't know. It depends on the tide. And so when we get hit with these storms, we get big waves that also erodes our coastline. So it's crazy. Robin's saying, so she's in Central Florida, she's saying we still have branches all over the neighborhood. That's really, really not good because those branches are going to go airborne, and that's what goes through windows. So God forbid Nicole gets stronger. You definitely want to bring in, don't wait till tomorrow. Start to bring in some of your loose objects outside. Bring in your patio furniture. Don't sink it in the pool. I don't know who came up with that. That's a dumb idea. Why is it a dumb idea? Because then you have to get it out of your pool. And if you do have wind come over the water and it churns up your pool water, it's also going to churn up your patio furniture in the surface of your pool and in the bottom of your pool, and it's going to scrape up your pool surface. If it scrapes up your pool surface enough, your pool will have leaks. And to resurface your pool is thousands of dollars. So I don't advise that. Again, I'm not a meteorologist. It's not my specialty. I've just been a Floridian in Florida the majority of my life. Okay. So that's what I want to say about tropical storm. My Florida friends, please don't panic, but be smart. My friends and colleagues not in Florida, prayers are welcome because we really can't afford to have something else hit our coast. Tough cases. Tough cases in our office. I was talking to a colleague today. I'm like, back in the day, I would consider Lyme disease a tough case. I would consider mold illness, so someone who's been exposed to mold and they might have racing heart, migraines, trouble breathing, asthma, anxiety attacks, hormonal issues, PCOS, PMS. I would consider mold kind of a pain in the butt, right? Some parasitic cases, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, anorexia, vomiting. I used to consider some of those complicated cases. And now, because of quantum nutrition testing and because some of the new products that we have access to, I don't really consider tough cases tough anymore. And I don't mean that in a cocky way or arrogant way. I mean that in a cool way. Like, we are becoming super awesome at finding the cause of problems and handling the cause. So when you have a symptom, if you handle the cause, then the symptom goes away, which is really, really cool. And so speaking with a colleague, I'm like, the Cellcore product line, we have a mold case, products like Carboxy or biotoxin binder or HMET binder or Viracid binder makes the case way easier. If we have a nasty parasitic or a Lyme's case, some of their other products make handling that so much easier. It's a more efficient tool for the problem. So if you need to put a nail in a piece of wood, you could use a screwdriver or you could use a hammer. Obviously, the hammer is going to be more efficient and more effective. And so that's what I feel like Cellcore products allow us to do. Now, we use other product lines as well, but with some of the tough cases, which we used to think were tough, which weren't really excited about handling, not because we didn't want to help the person, but we knew it was a long road for both the patient and us. We don't consider it tough anymore, which is awesome. I'll tell you what is tough is when we have people that were damaged by certain current treatments, I guess I'll say it like that. Those are tough cases. Why are they tough cases? Well, how do I say this? They're tough cases because I am not aware of any technology which will undo that crime against humanity. And that's horrible to say. It's awful to say. It hurts my soul. It's devastating. It's criminal. It's awful, right? And it's even worse when I have someone who I've been working with for a really long time and they've been improving, and then all of a sudden they made a choice and they decided to do that, and they're not improving anymore. They're moving the wrong direction. Everything that they had is worse now. And and they tell me, Dr. Palmer, I was getting better, I was moving in the right direction, and then I made this choice and now I'm moving in the wrong direction, and what do I do? And so at one point I was so mad and I was so frustrated. Renee popped on here. She knows I was so pissed at what was happening because it was extremely obvious to us that I wanted to spray paint. I'm not a good spray painter. I'm from Miami, but I don't know how to spray paint, right? I wanted to spray paint the lobby. Like, if you get this, then, you're a moron, or don't get this, or, the experiment, right? I never did. And I wanted to kick those people out of my practice. But then I realized, okay, they made a choice based on the information they were given. Who gave them the information? Well, Big Pharma pays for all those ads. Big Pharma sponsors ads. The United States is one of the only countries in the world that will let pharmaceutical companies advertise directly to consumer. And so who has more money, Big Pharma or holistic healthcare? Obviously, Big Pharma. And so they were inundated with commercials and ads and radio ads and billboards and all this stuff. And all we were was this little holistic voice saying, hey, this is my opinion. Hey, this is why I feel this way. Hey, this is what I'm seeing. Hey. And so our little tiny voice against this big, huge, screaming monster, I can see why people made the choices that they made. But it's tough. Those are our toughest cases. Why are they tough? Because I don't have solutions for them. The fulvic and humic acid in some of the Cellcore products, like the HMET binder, the biotoxin binder, the Viridchem binder, the carboxy, has been shown to remove graphene oxide. Okay, the black stuff that you saw on some of the videos concerning the experiments. Is that the only thing that's happening with that experiment? No, it is not. It isn't. And so it's kind of been a depressing years, because, I have people suffering. Some of them have passed away. I've had more patients die the last 2 years, not because of me, but because of choices that they have made. In cases with COVID, we've had 100% success rate. We've helped people with all different conditions this year, and successfully, without the use of any kind of nasty medications, which is awesome. But they're tough. They're really tough cases in it. And I would hope, if you were an evil villain that created this problem, I would hope that there would be an antidote. I would pray that some of your friends and family receive saline. But the things that I'm hearing are it's just exhausting. It's just frustrating. It's depressing. And I'm not on here to just be doom and gloom today. I'm just saying, hey, it takes a toll. So if you have a friend in holistic healthcare, raise them up. If you have a friend or a colleague in holistic healthcare, let them know you appreciate them and you appreciate their efforts, because it's like one step forward and two punches in the face. So let me say one thing. So on a positive note, I always like to end on a positive note. So tonight is a full moon. It is a lunar eclipse. That's pretty crazy. And, her tropical storm warning. Jessica says, it's funny, I can tell the cycle of the moon based on my kids' teeth grinding. Tonight, her whole jaw is getting para 3. Yeah. So we know that parasites increase their activity during full moons and new moons. And tonight is a new moon, a full moon. And so the positive part is with the Quantum Nutrition Academy, we are training some terrific practitioners. I was talking to a colleague today and I'm like, they don't understand how good they are. Cases that I, thought were tough 10 years ago, they're handling like, no big deal. Like, this is easy peasy, like eczema, psoriasis, Meniere's disease, chronic whatever mysteries, health mysteries. They're handling like they don't even know how good they are because no one ever told them that certain cases were hard, right? And so when I started teaching the academy, people were asking me, are you only going to teach chiropractors? Are you only going to teach acupuncturists? Are you only going to teach medical doctors? Are you only going to teach licensed healthcare providers? And I said, no. I said, some of the best providers I've ever seen don't have those titles. They don't have those licenses. Sometimes it's actually harder to train a licensed practitioner, a licensed physician, because they've been indoctrinated to think a certain way. My mom at one point practiced with us. So before she started working with us, she was in nursing for 40 something years. So she had worked in radiology or x-rays. She had worked in dermatology or skin. She had worked in immune compromise with HIV patients. She had worked in ER. She had worked in all these different departments. And so that's the cool thing with nursing, is that she was able to work in many different floors. There's more. I don't remember all of them. But the problem was, the medical model is, here's a symptom, suppress the symptom. Here's another symptom, suppress the symptom. Here's another symptom, suppress the symptom. Here's side effects, suppress the side effects. Oh, this organ's dying, cut it out. Oh, this organ is dead, cut it out. Oh, this intestine isn't working, cut it out. Oh, there's not enough intestine, put a colostomy bag. Oh, the person can't urinate, put a catheter in. Oh, the person can't eat, put a feeding tube in. Oh, the person can't breathe, put a trach in. Oh, the person can't. It's such a crazy paradigm. So emergency medicine, I really appreciate emergency medicine. My mom woke up at 3 a.m. with my umbilical cord hanging out when she was pregnant with me, and she made sure she wasn't putting pressure on it. They rushed to the ER. A surgeon saved my life. And so when it comes to certain surgeries, when it comes to emergency room, when it comes to certain things, those docs and nurses and physician assistants and nurse practitioners and so on are like spot on amazing. But when it comes to figuring out chronic health conditions, when it comes to figuring out infertility, when it comes to figuring out women's health, when it comes to improving health, holistic healthcare, in my opinion, is the way to go. And quantum nutrition, in my biased opinion, is the best way to go. So I just wanted to let you know that if you are suffering, if you do have symptoms, if you do have family members that are having a rough time, there is hope. You don't have to suffer. I was talking to a new patient this week, and she has these symptoms, and she's been to this specialist. She had an endoscopy, which is the camera through this end. She had a colonoscopy, which is camera through the exit. And they can't find out what's going on with her. And so because we're going to help her with quantum nutrition, she actually has hope. She's only in her 20s. She's like, I can't imagine what it would be like if I had to feel like this the rest of my life. And I'm like, yeah, she's only 24. She goes, I want to be able to live my life and serve my purpose and not have to worry about if I'm going to have diarrhea, or not have to worry about being anxious or not. You shouldn't have a tension on your body. If you go somewhere and you're like, I hope I don't get a headache. I hope I don't have diarrhea. I hope I don't throw up. I hope, then you are not healthy, right? If you have to carry around ibuprofen, Motrin, aspirin, Tylenol, Midol, prescription drugs in your purse, you are not healthy. I am not telling you to stop taking any of those things, but I'm letting you know that you're just suppressing the symptoms. If you need help finding the cause of your symptoms, reach out to us and we're happy to help you. So Tropical Storm Nicole, tell her to go back out to sea and leave everybody alone. Prayers, positive vibes, postulates are welcome. if you think you're a tough case, call our office, Palmer Natural Health. We would be happy to see if we can help you. And terrific practitioners. I am super blessed and honored to have an office filled with amazing, amazing practitioners with huge caring hearts. And they work very hard to help people with everything. Sometimes they care more than the person cares about themselves. And a network of quantum nutrition practitioners from all over the US that have huge hearts and have found that their purpose in this lifetime is to help people heal naturally with quantum nutrition. Well, I just wanted to pop on, say hello, and hopefully this information has been helpful for you. Thank you for the prayers, Alyssa. Yeah, Jessica, I can see how the endoscopy and colonoscopy didn't find anything. I totally got it. If we can help you in any way, let us know. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear. Good night, everyone.